Hi everyone, my name is Chang Yu Wang. The topic that I will say today is how contingency leadership theory can be applied among 21st century leaders. Let me start with history of contingency leadership theory. Contingency theory emerged in 1960. It founded on the principle that no single leadership style is appropriate for every circumstance. The approach emphasized the importance of the leader personality and the situation in which that leader operates. The contingency theory of leadership supposes that a leader's effectiveness is contingent on whether or not their leadership style is suited or particular situation. According to this theory, an individual can be an effective leader in one circumstance and ineffective leader in another one. To maximize your likelihood of being a productive leader, you should be able to examine each situation and decide if your leadership style is going to be effective or not. In most cases that require you to be self-aware, objective, and adaptable. For Finder, contingency theory has two factors. First is leadership style. Second, situational favorableness. For leadership style, in this factor, you determine your style of leadership. The Finder developed a skill called Least Preferred Co-worker skill, LPC. The skill asks you to do two simple things to understand your leadership style. First, think about the person you have least enjoy working with. Then rate how you feel about this person for each factor and add up your scores. According to this scale, the more you rate the person you least to work with, the more relationship-oriented you are. For example, high LPC is relationship-oriented leader. For the less you rate the person you like the least working with, the more task-oriented you are. For example, low LPC is task-oriented leader. For situational favorableness, it is the second step that determines a particular situation favorableness. It depends on three distinct factors. First, leader-member relation. This factor measures how much your team trusts you. Greater trust increases the favorableness of the situation and less confident with you. Next, task structure. This factor measures the task performance. It refers to the type of task you are doing. Clear and structured or unstructured. Unstructured tasks view unfavorably. Last, leader position power. This is determined by the level of authority you display to reward or punish subordinates. The more ability you have, the more favorable your situation. Finder identifies power as being either strong or weak. Key strengths of contingency theory. Contingency theory is grounded in research as many researchers have tested it and found it to be a very reliable approach to explaining how effective leadership can be achieved. This theory considers the impact of situation on leader and focus on the relationship between the leader style and the demand of various situations. Third, contingency theory has predictive power and based on the conclusion from LPC scale and understanding the context of the workplace situation, one can determine the probability of success for a given person in a given situation. From an organization perspective, it supports identification of optimal role based on individual leadership style and placing leaders in charge of situations that are ideal for their leadership style. Contingency leadership theory has many applications in the organization world. It can be used to assess the effectiveness of an individual in a particular role and look at the reason for one's effectiveness or ineffectiveness. It can be used to predict whether a person who has worked well in one position in an organization will be equally effective in another position having different situational variables when compared to the existing position based on the contingency that make one style effective. It can help in implementing changes in the role and the responsibility that managers might need to make to bring effectiveness to the role of the person leading the same. As now, we have more understanding on leadership and its challenge in the 21st century. Contingency model might not be the best leadership model to use in most situations, but still can be a powerful tool to analyze particular situation to determine whether to focus on task or relationship. This model sometimes can give an inaccurate picture of your leadership style as it relies heavily on the LPC scale, which have been questioned for its face validity and workability. Further, this model does not fully explain how organizations can use the result of this theory in situational engineering, and hence we recommend taking cautious approach and using your own judgment to analyze the situation from all angles. In conclusion, there are many factors that can affect a leader effectiveness in the workplace. These include things like the size of a team, the scope of the project, and expected delivery date for a result. Different leaders, each with unique leadership style, will respond to this variable in different ways. Contingency theories will say that no matter how successful a leader is, there will always be a particular situation that will challenge them. Therefore, leaders must be willing to acknowledge the fact that their success depends partially on their comfort in addition to their personal skills. That's all for me. Thank you. Bye-bye.